Hey guys, so my business partner and I have both managed collectively, we've managed about $500 million, about $500 million in ad spend. And all the time we keep getting the same questions over and over. So I'm going to go live a few times and walk you through some of these most common questions. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is just knowing your numbers, right? A lot of times clients will come to me and say, hey, after 30 days, what can I expect? Or what's the ROAS or the return that I can expect to get out of this? And as someone on the marketing agency side, there's a lot that I can't control, right? There are a lot of these numbers that you as a business owner absolutely have to be the person who has a better grasp and a better grip on like what's going on that side. So I'm going to walk you through how I make those decisions or I make those calculations. And then I'll use some real life examples. So I had an ecom account actually this morning ask me. So if we do, there's kind of like a standard ecom bundle that we would do in terms of accounts where we'll launch SEM, we'll launch Performance Max, and then let's say we're just going to launch that. So generally, let's say these guys want to spend 10K to test both of these channels, right? Generally, how I do this is I'll pull some traffic cost assumptions from comparable campaigns, right? This is just an example, but when I fill this out for myself, what I'm looking at is kind of the comparables. So traffic costs for SEM, let's just do like some generic SEM, and then let's do Performance Max. Generally, it's a whole lot cheaper. And so you can see we're starting to get some of these, click data is over here. How many clicks can we expect to get? Let's drag up some of these formulas. Okay, so you can see we're starting to get a sense for like how many clicks are we going to get off of this. Now let's say it's a simple e-commerce account. These are the two numbers that we need, right? If you're an e-commerce client asking me like how much ROAS can I expect to get out of this test, I need these numbers from you, right? And I need real data, not just like anecdotal or like my product sells for 99 bucks. Like I need a real AOV off of it. So let's make some assumptions off of AOV. But again, these are things that to give you an accurate expectation, I need your real live data. I need to know exactly. Right? So now that we put these assumptions in here, we can start getting some expectations coming through the funnel, right? So sales, maybe I put like too low here. Okay. Okay. So I would plug your real data in here and then take a look and see like what can you expect for sales. If this client is telling me, "Hey, we have a goal of 10x ROAS," I would kind of say, "No, you don't. Like it's not possible, right?" A lot of times people think their marketing agency can just do magic, and that's not the case. So it is true that we can do things here to improve these numbers, right? Like if we pull up this sales conversion rate, then you're in like a much better situation, right? There's still some channels that might be too expensive. And that's part of the reasons why we need these numbers when we make a media plan is different channels have different traffic costs and not always can we make it work with your numbers. Another example of this would be a lead gen campaign. Now on Legion, maybe we try SEM, maybe we try YouTube, maybe we try Meta. Let's just run with that. And then let's say we're going to test. I'm just going to put 10K as a test budget on all of this stuff. Okay. So again, Google SEM has higher CPCs. It's always going to be the case. There's just always going to be higher CPCs coming off of Google search. YouTube, it varies, but we can get it down lower. And then Meta, it honestly depends on the audience that you're hitting. Sometimes it can be pretty high in terms of what the CPC actually looks like off of a Meta campaign. But let's just say like $2. So again, now you can start getting some of these calculations. How many leads can I expect to get through this campaign? Or how many clicks can I expect to get through this campaign? Right? Then again, you got to know these numbers on your opt-in pages. Can you expect some of my clients have a 50% opt-in rate conversion rate for the lead event, right? If you're at 50%, you're going to have a lead and a CPL number that's quite a bit healthier than someone with a lower number there, obviously, right? So like here, you're getting these like $10 CPLs off of SEM. Maybe that's viable for you. $2 off YouTube, $4 off Meta. But it kind of depends on what your target is here. But then again, some people come to me with like, honestly, some people come with like a 3% opt-in rate. If you have a 3% opt-in rate and you're expecting a $5, $10 CPL, again, that math is just not possible. So again, agencies can't do miracle work. And if you don't know these numbers, right? If you're advertising e-com and you don't know these numbers, if you're advertising lead gen and you don't know these numbers, then you're not possibly going to be able to know the sales events that will come out the back end, right? And so, yeah, that would be what I would tell you first. If you're working with an agency and you're not scrubbing through the data like this, you're not going to know, you're not going to have a good expectation on what's going to happen, right? I would recommend like work with an agency that has good comparables, right? When I fill this out, a lot of times, even if my client doesn't know like a webinar registration rate or an attendee rate or something like that, I have comparables that I can pull from and have some idea, right? But it's not going to be the same as plugging in your data exactly. And if you have a complex funnel, it's even more important, right? Like we run VSL funnels where it's like one link in that funnel could break, or we send traffic to a sales team and they have a 1% conversion rate. It's possible to make funnels that can back that. But not if you're not aware of like, hey, there's a problem here that we need to hedge against in other spots. So yeah, this is a little quick intro. I think I've been on here about 8 minutes, so I'm going to jump off now. But yeah, I'm going to keep coming live. We'll keep walking through these variables that are important. If you want to build an ad campaign that spends $1 million, if you want to build an ad campaign that spends $100 million, these are the things that you need to pay attention to and look at, right? A lot of times people come and talk to me and say like, oh, I have unlimited budget, but I want to spend 5K on a test budget, right? There's sometimes the funnel math doesn't even back out to one sale, right? Like a lot of times, hey, maybe we have like a $1,500 AOV and like a 5% conversion rate, something like that, where it's like, okay, you want to spend 10K, here you get one sale. But like there's times where you do that. If you spend 5K, you're not going to get one sale, right? If you had just like a 5K test budget on that. And so it's important to have these budgets based not only over like what do you want to test, what campaigns do you want to build, but also like, is it realistic? Am I going to get a single sale knowing my conversion rates if I test with that budget? So this is an important part. I think that this type of conversation would really elevate some of the conversations or onboardings with any agency, right? If you're trying to hire an agency, I would really dig through the numbers and make sure the math works. When we build a media plan, the math is the very first place we start because there's some fundamentals that you just can't fight against, or it's going to be a losing battle if you fight against it. So hopefully this helps a little bit. I'll try to come back on with more of these as we go through the weeks. But the intent is really give business owners some of the tools you need to make sure you're making the right decisions when choosing a marketing partner. So let me know if you have any questions here in the comments.